Forward cycle.
Building perfect
Forward cycle.
Building perfect forwards, generating massive attack.
And covering up your biggest mistake.
The cycle's biggest mistake. Hey guys, I'm Papa Mish.
And I'm Lena Z.
And this is the long-waited for Forward Cycle. I'm really excited to do this video, and especially with Lena, and there is a really good reason, but we'll tell you in a bit. And the Forward Cycle is a long-term plan that's evolved in building perfect forwards and an amazingly strong attack. It took me some time to figure out how to do the Forward Cycle, as it has one big weakness, and the fact is scoring training is really needed only for forwards. Other positions don't need too much scoring training, maybe a maximum of 1 season, and it's very hard to combine half-baked players there. But we will take this weakness and we'll try to bring it and turn it into a strength. We'll be using the extra training slots during the scoring cycle to generate more money and buy better and older half-baked players. If we look at how the perfect forward will look like at the end of the cycle, it will be a scoring of 18 plus, passing of 14, wing of 14 and 12 playmaking. The best specialities for forwards are powerful for a PNF, maybe they'll need a little bit more playmaking and less secondaries, and unpredictable and quick. Support could be a really great specialty as well, but they are still rare. Other positions will be perfectly look like this. We already talked about them in previous videos, and we'll try to add a few half-baked players that will look like this in this cycle as well. And the big reason that we're doing this video together is the fact that Lena has a few really good Youth Academy players, and she'll be doing a forward cycle as well.
Okay, so we took the perfect forward skills and divided them into trainings that he'll need to get to those levels. We'll be doing 2 seasons of playmaking, 6 seasons of scoring, 3 seasons of passing, and 3 seasons of wing.
But not necessarily in this order.
We took the 6 seasons of scoring and divided them into 5 scoring seasons at the beginning and an additional one at the end. This way we can finish with all the scoring training at the beginning and add the half-baked players that don't need so much scoring, and continue with the training afterwards.
At the beginning of this video, we said that Forward Cycle's biggest weakness is the fact that at the beginning of the cycle, we don't use all the training slots for core trainees. And here we'll try to make this weakness into a strength.
In this next slide, we can see the progression of our trainings. We start with 5 seasons of scoring with 3 core trainees, with an additional 3 trainees to be used as profit. Moving to the 3 seasons of wing training, where we move our 3 core trainees to the wing positions, with an additional half-baked player to be used as our winger later on. The 50% training slots will be used for making money. In the next 2 seasons of playmaking training, we move our 4 core trainees to the playmaking positions, with an additional 2 inner midfielders which we will buy. The 50% training slots in the playmaking training will be used for profit. In the 3 next seasons of passing training, we'll move all our players in the passing positions, with an additional round of players to fill the additional slots, and an additional set of players to be used for profit. We finish up the cycle with the last season of scoring training, with our 3 core trainees from the beginning and an additional trainees as we see fit. During your 2 seasons of playmaking training, your team can start being competitive, since now you have enough players that can play in their intended positions. Your team can improve their ratings and start climbing the leagues.
In this slide, you could find all the information you need to know about how each and one of your players should look like during this forward cycle, at the beginning of each cycle and when you buy the half-baked players. So let's start. At the beginning, you need 3 core trainees to be your future forward. And we're talking about relevant skills, so relevant skills should be somewhere between 20 and 24 if you have something better from a youth academy, or on the transfer market, that's even better, but it could be a bit expensive. Don't forget to buy the right specialty, which is powerful, unpredictable, or quick. So the player should look like somewhere around 5 playmaking, 5 wing, 5-6 passing, 5-6 scoring, or a little bit better. If you want to include a defensive forward in your cycle, just add him after 2 seasons of scoring, sell one of the unnecessary players and buy a player at the age of 19 with playmaking 11. At the end of the 5 seasons of scoring, your core trainees should be with scoring of 17. You could always see I highlight each skill that being trained during this cycle. Before you start the wing cycle, you need to buy one half-baked player, which is your future winger. And your future winger will be 22-year-old. We need to calculate which skills he already need to have, so after we finish the forward cycle, he'll be a perfect winger. And for this, we'll need to find someone around those levels. Defense 8, playmaking 15, wing between 9 and 12, and passing and scoring, you don't really care about them. You will give him 3 seasons of wing, and hopefully you'll get him into wing 17-18, which every perfect winger needs. After 2 seasons of wing, your forwards will also have about 14 wing. Here it's another important position, because at this time you are transitioning into the playmaking cycle, and here you need to add your 2 last additional half-baked players to be your future inner midfielders. Again, same thing, we need to buy them at the age of 25, we need them to be already trained at certain skills, so at the end of the forward cycle they'll be perfect inner midfielders. So the skills that we need for them, you could see them here in the slide. Defense 11, playmaking 16, 17, and passing and scoring, you don't really care about them. If you want one of them to be a defensive inner midfielder, it's defense about 15 and playmaking about 16. And you could see the progression of each of the skills that we train highlighted on this slide. Not always you'll find every half-baked player that you need on the transfer market. Some of them will be really expensive, some of them will be rare. So one tip is start searching for the half-baked players a few weeks before you transition to the next cycle. It's better to buy them early and let them sit in your team for a week or 2, or maybe give them training in the 50% slots, but buy them and not start a new cycle without them. Secondly, sometimes you'll need to compromise and think that you'll still have an amazing team, even if the defense of one of the players will be slightly off or some other secondary. And hopefully with this all information, you have everything you need to know about the forward cycle.
Bloopers. Trainings. Different sorts of... different... You can improve your ratings and climb up the league. Forward cycle.
Building perfect forwards, generating massive attack.
And covering your biggest mistake.
What do you think about the forward cycle and this idea? Please write your thoughts and comments, and we always love to read them. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, because the Hat-Trick, it's more than a game, it's a community.
And don't forget to join us in our next video when we'll talk about an advanced forward cycle training.
With your chick chicks.
With my chick chicks.